Hello everyone, I am Julian Morris with the Channel 5 News. In the headlines, Miss Dominica 2019 Marisol John to accelerate advocacy for youth participation in regional integration. Dominica's 2019 Calypso Monarch dice going after number 10 in 2020. And Grenada offers assistance to cash-strapped Caribbean airline LIAT. The details of the news coming up.
Imagine you have Hollywood at your command. Introducing Flow Evil. Anywhere you are.
Big girls don't scream hard like Halloween, make me feel alive.
There's a world of entertainment here, and you run the show. Flow Evil.
Here are some tips to reduce mosquito presence in and around your home. Keep water storage containers properly covered. Remove containers that can collect water from your surroundings. Keep garbage bins tightly covered. Pick up your litter and remove all tires from your yard. Keep gutters free of leaves and twigs to prevent stagnant water. Prevent Zika, dengue, and chikungunya. Fight the bite. This is a public service announcement from the Dominica Red Cross.
This message is supported by Flow. First up in the news, Miss Dominica 2019 Marisol John has pledged to continue pushing her platform of the youth's voice in regional integration.
The 20-year-old teacher of the convent high school who copped the 2019 Miss Dominica title represented the communities of Coptal and Sultan. Miss John took the top prize from a field of 5 contestants. The other awards she captured at the pageant were Best Spectacular Creation and Best in Spectacular Creation, Best Evening Wear and Best in Evening Wear, Best Performing Talent and Best Response to Question. Ms. John spoke to Channel 5 News shortly after her crowning.
The idea of regional integration has never changed. It has been around for a while, but I believe that there needs to be a lot more to continue to achieve this vision of integration. And I see our youth taking on this mantle to be able to achieve it through the use of technology, through so many different avenues that we have exposed our youth to. And I see them taking on this mantle because they are ready and they are willing to contribute to integrating or uniting the Caribbean. I expect to do a lot of platform campaigns and social media campaigns. So within the next couple of months, look out for those things.
Marisol is pleased that her hard work paid off in her winning the national crown and is looking forward to representing Dominica at the regional pageants after a 1-year absence due to Hurricane Maria.
It's an amazing feeling, trust me. It's an amazing feeling to know that my hard work for the past 5 months has paid off, and I really cannot explain how great this feeling is right now.
You mentioned hard work. Tell us, what was it like for you preparing over the past 5 months?
I would have to say that the preparations were a roller coaster of emotions. At points I wanted to give up, at other times I was more motivated than anything else in the world. But I knew what I was going for and I worked hard to get it.
Okay, now last year Dominica wasn't able to take part in any regional pageants. Do you feel any added pressure knowing you have to represent us in the region?
I would like to say no pressure at all, but I know that won't be reality. So I do feel a bit of pressure, but I'm not worried because I work hard and I plan to put my best foot forward.
The first runner-up in the Miss Dominica 2019 pageant was 21-year-old Chrislyn Tavernier of Grand Bay. She took the prizes for Best Swimwear, Best in Swimwear, Miss Photogenic, and the Leadership Award. The second runner-up position went to 20-year-old Alia Martin of Campbell. The other participants in the Miss Dominica pageant were 20-year-old Brittany Felix of St. Joseph, who was also awarded Miss Amity, and 21-year-old Annick Williams of Goodwill.
Meantime, officials of the Dominica Festivals Committee are apologizing to patrons for the mishaps on the night of the Miss Dominica pageant. One of the incidents at Friday night show was the difficulty entering the venue. A bottleneck developed at the gate as hundreds of patrons tried to access the grounds. The fact that there was only one gate available to patrons added to the late distribution of armbands and the late opening of the gate causing discomfort and confusion outside Carnival City. Acting Festival and Events Manager Marva Williams says measures were put in place to accommodate patrons, but things did not go according to plan.
As the event organizer, at points like that, I take full responsibility for whatever is happening and I try to solve the problem. So that is exactly what I did. I tried to solve the problem. I mean, people were ramping and raving, people were angry, people were embarrassed. If it was me out there, I would have felt the same way. Who knows how I would have reacted. You know, we proceeded to put on armbands as quickly as possible. We apologized. I apologized to every single person who walked through that gate as best as I could. That's the only thing I could have done at this point in time. It was a very insultive moment. You know, somebody even went ahead and spat on me, but I took it. That's okay. And, you know, I tried my best to solve the problem until the gates were clear.
Another concern was that of seating arrangements on the compound.
So we had 400 tickets in terms of seating tickets. We placed 460 or 470 chairs. So we placed more than the chairs that were allocated. And then I cannot understand, if you did not purchase a seating ticket, why are you sitting? You know? So when things like that happen, I do not blame anyone. I try to solve the problem. That's a lesson learned for 2020. We need to consider whether it is that we want to have sitting at the Miss Dominica pageant, because people do not respect those things. You have a standing ticket and you choose to sit, you know, and then the event organizers are the ones who have to bear the embarrassment and so for things like that. So, you know, once again, I just would like to apologize to the patrons for the Miss Dominica pageant. I do not think that is something that should prevent you from coming to the pageant, you know, in future.
The acting festival and events manager also took time out to comment on a new feature of the show, which was having the young artists Colton T and Stasha being guest hosts during the production of the Miss Dominica pageant.
One of DFC's mandate is to promote and enhance our local artists, and we thought that the Queen pageant would be a great avenue, you know, to do that. So we had Colton T and Stasha as guest hosts for the pageant. They required no introduction, and so everything was nicely scripted out, and they just made their appearances in between all of the rounds, you know, for the pageant. Based on their attire was basically to introduce each of the rounds. So you may recall Colton T in, you know, what can be considered a shiny or bedazzled Speedo, as somebody put it, and that was basically to introduce, you know, another round. And first of all, let me thank Colton T. I think he's an excellent artist. He has no fear in terms of what he wants to do. He entertains, and I think that is exactly what he did for the Miss Dominica pageant.
Denison Dice Joseph has set yet another record in Dominica's Calypso history. Here is Andrea Louis with a report.
The seasoned Calypsonian was crowned Dominica's Calypso monarch for the 9th time in his career. This is the first time any Calypsonian has attained that feat. Speaking to the media after his win, Dice said he was a man on a mission on the night of the show.
Well, I went to that competition on a mission because I'm living in my country too, and Calypso, as I tell them, is the only genre that speaks about the governmental things and the things about the nation. All other genres of music talk about emotions and different emotions. And music was always made for that type of vibes. You check? And Calypso is the only thing that's doing it. And you know, they just try to stop it too, because it have effect in all forms, you know? And that's why the people have to know that it's their thing. Because the people are supposed to have a voice too. The people are supposed to be one. You'd have to have politicians and you'd have to have the people.
The Calypso King outperformed 9 others, including the 2018 monarch, Daryl Bob, to take the coveted title of Calypso King. Third runner-up position went to Webster Webb Marie, who performed Darkness of Blackness and Overnight Laborite. Second runner-up was Tasha P. Peltier, with her songs Put Your House in Order and Ross Response, while Daryl Bob, the 2018 monarch, was the first runner-up. His songs on the night were Who They Love and Born in Dominica. King Dice says he'll take all the necessary steps to defend his crown and possibly set another record next year.
Seeing that I am king now, I have to defend. And if I am defending, I will not go weak. Because sometimes Like when I win the champ of the camp, I win it already. You know, sometimes I just feel I don't want people to lose confidence because I'm always in that winning streak. But at the same time, I cannot bring it down to make you feel better. I have to, you know, that's how, if we need perfection or we're seeking for something that great, I have to stay my way, and unless somebody comes and, you know, that's the vibes. Well, the thing is, I'll give Calypsonians a trick. You know, I'll say that tonight. You know, sing for the people, man. That's it. Just always sing for the people. You can't sing for a selective few. Okay, you have to sing for the many.
The winning songs on the night of the Calypso finals were Grandmama, We Have to Fight and Jumbie Money.
In other news now, no arrests reported yet in connection with the deadly shooting of 28-year-old Eardley Julian in Salisbury on Sunday night. Police say the shooting took place while the deceased stood on the roadside.
The Commonwealth of Dominica Police Force is investigating a fatal shooting incident which occurred at 11:30 p.m. on Sunday, 3rd March 2019 at Salisbury. Deceased is Eardley Julian, male 28 years. According to the information, the deceased was standing on the sidewalk in the village of Salisbury when he was shot multiple times. He fell to the ground and succumbed to his injuries. He was pronounced dead at the scene by the district medical doctor. His body was transported to the Gentle Rest Funeral Home to await a post-mortem.
And in more police news coming out of the weekend heading into Carnival. A man from Bells lost his life in an accident at Pont-Cassé late Sunday night. Inspector Simon Edwards has details.
The Commonwealth of Dominica Police Force is investigating a fatal road traffic collision which occurred on Sunday, 3rd March 2019 at 11 p.m. at Pont-Cassé. Deceased is Mason Bernard Laurent, male 61 years of Bells. According to the information, vehicle registration number 9251 was driven by Kervel Luke, male 22 years of Bells. He was in the company of Elijah Laurent, male 21 years of Pont-Cassé, and the deceased. On approaching the roundabout at Pont-Cassé, the driver lost control of the car, which veered off the main road and plunged into the river. The driver sustained injuries to his mouth. Elijah Laurent sustained injuries to his right arm and right side of face, and the deceased sustained multiple injuries. The victims were transported to the Accident and Emergency Department at the Princess Margaret Hospital, where Mason Laurent succumbed to his injuries and was officially pronounced dead by a medical doctor.
You are watching Channel 5 News. We'll have more after this.
Imagine you have Hollywood at your command. Introducing Flow Evil.
Red cheese, gold rings, all black, everything creeping through the night.
Anywhere you are,
Big girls don't scream hard like Halloween, make me feel alive.
there's a world of entertainment here, and you run the show. Flow Evil.
Here are some tips to reduce mosquito presence in and around your home. Keep water storage containers properly covered. Remove containers that can collect water from your surroundings. Keep garbage bins tightly covered. Pick up your litter and remove all tires from your yard. Keep gutters free of leaves and twigs to prevent stagnant water. Prevent Zika, dengue, and chikungunya. Fight the bite. This is a public service announcement from the Dominica Red Cross.
This message is supported by Flow. Mass Dominic 2019 has come in for high commendation from locals and visitors alike. Let's go back to Andrea Louis for more.
Carnival celebrations got into high gear over the weekend, with first the National Queen Show on Friday, then the Calypso finals on Saturday. One of the features which added to the Carnival celebrations was the return of the Kiddies Carnival on Sunday, which had been absent from the Carnival calendar for a few years. Acting Festival and Events Manager of the Dominica Festivals Committee, Marvel Williams, says the success of Kiddies Carnival was largely due to JCI Dominica taking on the project.
We did it in collaboration with JCI Dominica. They did a lot of the groundwork. I mean, we promoted it. We invested in all the needs of the event, but they were the ones who did the groundwork. So big up to them for that. I mean, the balloon display, the parents, I think the parents were enjoying the little parade more than the children. We looked at it, and a lot of times I like to look at things and think of the future. There's a lot we can do better, for 2020, but for something that hadn't taken place for so many years, I think it really got out on a great start.
Williams says Juve and the Carnival Monday and Tuesday parades were all highly commended by those visiting the country.
And I think Juve is evolving into something amazing. I mean, we had media from St. Lucia, and they were just like, oh my God, I wish our Juve was something like that. That was also the moment for them, when they saw the Juve. Carnival Monday, we had the display of the traditional bands and the school bands. Let me thank the schools for coming out. We hope next year we can have lots more schools being part of that. The traditional aspect was great as well. And, that continued into the T-shirt bands. On Tuesday, we had the display of the costume bands and all the winners, the runner-ups and participants of all the different pageants, the Calypso and stuff like that. The media from overseas were there. Actually, they enjoyed the Tuesday even more than Monday, and they were like, oh my God, Tuesday is like so amazing in terms of the different types of costume bands, and people just on the side enjoying themselves. So it was really, really great.
While she anticipates the official post-mortem of Miss Dominique 2019, Williams has already pointed to some areas which need to be addressed for future celebrations, especially in terms of laws in the parade.
One of the things I've mentioned is that within the carnival route, we can make the area a little bit more live. Just like we tried for La Place Plaisir, the entertainment zone on Old Street, maybe we can have more than one entertainment zone. So when there is nothing happening on the route, then patrons can gravitate to the different entertainment zones, and get hyped until the next one comes around. Another thing that happens is we Dominicans, we do not understand time. And like I've said before, the Dominica's Carnival is now being presented as a product for export. It's part of the tourism product, and we as Dominicans have to take responsibility in ensuring that whatever is presented out there, is something that is unique, something that is palatable, something that will actually make Dominicans want to come into Dominica. But if we say T-shirt bands start at 2, and patrons come to see T-shirt bands start at 2, and then T-shirt bands come out at 3, some after 3, 4 o'clock, it doesn't make sense, and it reflects poorly on the organizers, because we give people times.
Miss Dominique 2019 was celebrated under the theme, A Sizzling Explosion.
The government of Grenada has pledged to make a cash contribution to cash-strapped Antigua-based regional airline LIAT. The Grenada offer comes less than a week after the regional shareholder governments urged Caribbean countries to contribute to the future of the island-hopping airline. Grenada's CARICOM Affairs Minister said LIAT was in a dire financial situation, and that contribution is to ensure that it continues flying. Dominica is among LIAT's major shareholders, which include Barbados, Antigua and Barbuda, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Antigua and Barbuda's Prime Minister Gaston Brown says there are plans to encourage St. Kitts, Nevis, St. Lucia, Grenada and Guyana to become shareholders. Brown said there was need to have a model of shared burden, recognizing that from time to time LIAT would need some level of support. He said even if LIAT was to collapse, the airline would have to be replaced or reinvented. And a UN investigator and human rights rapporteur believes the US and its allies are using the issue of human rights in Venezuela as a basis to threaten military intervention in the country. The US president has said that all options remain on the table, including the possibility of military intervention to replace President Maduro with Juan Guaido. The UN expert designated to investigate the Venezuela situation says his findings have largely been ignored.
If you know a humanitarian crisis in Gaza and in Yemen and in Syria and in Sudan and in Somalia, you wouldn't say there is a humanitarian crisis in Venezuela. And at no point when I was walking the streets in Venezuela did I feel threatened, or did I see violence, or did I consider that this country was undergoing a humanitarian crisis. But I see human rights more and more being instrumentalized to destroy human rights. There is a weaponization of human rights. I see the rule of law being instrumentalized to destroy the rule of law, and unfortunately, the complicity of the mainstream media. At no time since I returned from Venezuela, and since my report was officially presented to the Human Rights Council, have I been approached by any of these organs who actually have a responsibility vis-a-vis you and vis-a-vis me and vis-a-vis the people of the United States to inform.
The UN expert believes a lot of the economic suffering on Venezuela is caused by the US sanctions.
The United States has made sure that because of the threat of enormous penalties to the U.S. Treasury, the banks have been closing the accounts of the Venezuelan government and of the Petróleos of Venezuela. Already in July 2017, Citibank unexpectedly decided, without prior notice and arbitrarily, to close the bank accounts of the Central Bank of Venezuela and the Bank of Venezuela in November 2017. Citibank blocked the transfer for a shipment of more than 300,000 doses of insulin. In November 2017, the company Euroclear retained $1.65 billion that the Venezuelan government had paid for the purchase of food and medicine. Citgo, the Venezuelan state oil company based in the U.S., has not been able to transfer its profits outside the United States of America. It needs that money to buy food and medicine. And it is in the neighborhood, I think, by now of $9 or $10 billion that have been withheld. There again, Wells Fargo Bank withheld and canceled payment of $7,500,000 made by Brazil to Venezuela for the sale of electricity. In May 2018, the Venezuelan Minister of People's Power informed that a financial transaction amounting to $7 million for the purchase of dialysis supplies for patients, including children and adolescents, requiring such treatment had been blocked. So you see here the immorality of it, but not only the immorality of it, there is personal criminal liability for the impact of these sanctions. I mean, I am certain that the increase in child mortality, the increase in maternal mortality, the increased deaths for lack of insulin or lack of antiretroviral drugs is a direct result of this blockage, so that Venezuela has not been able to purchase what its people deserve. It's not like the government doesn't want to distribute. It's that the government is being, through an external economic war, is being asphyxiated. And that was the name of the game.
Imagine you have Hollywood at your command. Introducing Flow Evil.
Red cheese, gold rings, all black, everything creeping through the night.
Anywhere you are,
Big girls don't scream hard like Halloween, make me feel alive.
there's a world of entertainment here, and you run the show. Flow Evil.
Here are some tips to reduce mosquito presence in and around your home. Keep water storage containers properly covered. Remove containers that can collect water from your surroundings. Keep garbage bins tightly covered. Pick up your litter and remove all tires from your yard. Keep gutters free of leaves and twigs to prevent stagnant water. Prevent Zika, dengue, and chikungunya. Fight the bite. This is a public service announcement from the Dominica Red Cross.
This message is supported by Flow. To end the news, a look again at the headlines. Miss Dominica 2019 Marisol John to accelerate advocacy for youth participation in regional integration. Dominica's 2019 Calypso Monarch dies going after number 10 in 2020. And Grenada offers assistance to cash-strapped Caribbean airline LIAT. Feel free to contact us at news@marpin2k4.com. You may access our past newscasts on our YouTube channel. On behalf of the production team, I am Julian Morris. Thank you for watching. Join us tomorrow.